star drag. Now, the reason we think that this might burst into flames is this. The drag, all of the plates and washers are encapsulated in this tiny metal cylinder. So there's no heat sink to draw the heat away. It's going to build up inside of here, and we just might see some flames.
That's the theory.
Wind her up.
A theory that their first new reel,
Okay, we're at maximum speed.
a Star Drag 4-aught, rapidly proves in practice.
171, 172, 173, 174.
The Star Drag is hot.
175. Stop. Oh, you guys, we got all the way to 182.
It's a good start in this real ordeal. But can the 4-aughts big brother beat that benchmark?
Drag is on pretty tight. Get the net ready. We got a big one.
At just 20 miles an hour, the Star Drag rapidly reaches 180 degrees before this happens.
Red hot.
We're starting to smoke. It's smoking.
Oh, my God.
Keep going. We got smoke.
Wow. 187.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Hey, get the fire extinguisher ready.
223.
That is incredible.
230.
All right, put more.
Whoa.
Woo-hoo. Too much drag.
You guys, we got this up to 245 degrees.
So we've completed our reel comparison, and this is the winner. The limiting factor, though, in our tests was the amount of speed that we could get pulling the line off and the amount of line we had. Now what we've got to do is find some way to get more line off this spool a lot faster.
And to do that, take one marlin, mount it on a go-kart, and head out to Alameda
All right, first mate, you ready for your fishing trip?
This could be the best trip ever.
for extreme fishing, Mythbusters style.
Coming up on Mythbusters, we answer the question, if you ended up with one of these, could you replace it with one of these?
Do not try what you're about to see at home.
We're what you call experts.
In Fixin' a Flat, Adam and Jamie just hit pay dirt.
Don't slow down for anything.
And that's got them thinking.
Dude, I don't think we're done fixing flats.
What do you have in mind?
I would like to redo this test, but in an urban environment.
Go on.
Well, imagine you're in a city and you've got a flat tire. Calling a mechanic is totally not an option, but around you, you've got all the things you might find in a city. Metal, glass, and wood, and you've got to use those to improvise a working wheel.
I like it. Let's set it up.
Okay.
Well, at a rainy runway, it's time to find out.
Look at that. Our backward solution lasted all the way to the city.
Well, now it's time for some urban solutions.
Absolutely. While you may see a lovely view of San Francisco behind me through the fog, an empty runway, and 100 or so cones, I see an urban obstacle course in Potentia.
Adam and Jamie will each focus on their own urban fix. But first, they need to conjure up a cityscape crash course. And with everything set, the urban fixin' can commence, starting with Jamie.
Technically, there's nothing stopping you from rolling on a flat tire, other than sooner or later you're going to cut through it and you'll end up on the steel rim. So I figure, let's just try rolling on the steel rim.
It's a typically simple solution from the Heinemann that begins with him removing their logjam.
Well, that worked pretty well. Sort of.
And ends with him first wrenching a tire from its rim and then attaching that rim to the wheelbase. Job done, in theory.
As far as riding on a steel rim is concerned, we've got a couple of things to be concerned about. And the first is balance. This steel rim is a lot smaller than a normal tire, and so it makes the car kind of lopsided. The other thing is that the steel is not going to grip the road as well as a rubber tire will, and so we've got traction issues. Whether either of these things turn out to be a problem as far as handling, that's what we're going to run the course to find out.
Steel rim, no tire. In 3, 2, 1.
As per Jamie's prediction, the terrible traction makes for a slow start.
Oh, feel that acceleration.
Which means reaching the required speed
Come on, you gotta make it 40 miles an hour.
Before braking ahead of the wall
Come on, almost there.
is seriously challenging.
Stop, stop. Yeah. Nice. All right, right turn.
But having not hit the wall,
Into the slalom.
Jamie scrapes towards the slalom,
Faster, you can do it faster than that. That's it. Yeah.
where despite trying to stay on track, he soon gets into a spin.
Woo, woo, oh, yes, yes.
But after a quick recovery, all that's left is the parallel park, where slow and steady
You park like my grandmother.
puts Jamie's rim back on the road to success.
Nice.
Handling on the steel rim turned out to be not half bad. You just can't accelerate very fast, but I reckon you could go a fair distance on it.
Well, somewhere there's probably a law against leaving massive scratches in the road. But as far as getting yourself out of a jam, I'm thinking that the steel rim worked pretty great. I'd totally go with it.
With Jamie's rim firing on nearly all cylinders, can Adam's mythical fix do any better?
It's round. It's metal. I think it's perfect.
Without a mechanic to call or a genuine spare to prepare,
It's freaking heavy.
Adam's adamant that this manhole is the perfect wheel stand-in.
Look at how well that size matches. I have a good feeling about the manhole cover.
Being almost identical in size to a real wheel, all Adam has to do is cut out some bolt holes and then bolt it on. But will it be better than Jamie's rim?
Now that's a tire.
Check out your dubs, homie.
What do you think of that?
I like it.
The manhole cover seems like it's a perfect fit, but the problem is it's only an inch wide, therefore it's not going to get traction. The other thing is that it's made out of cast iron, and that is inherently kind of brittle. So if this puppy hits some kind of a rock or a serious bump, we've got a big problem.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Cast iron manhole cover wheel in 3, 2, 1, go!
Despite a fire and brimstone start,
Oh yeah, burn it. Yeah, no, you're really losing energy. Here we go, come on.
it's clear that this time the traction is actually less tragic as Adam gets up to speed
You're going 40.
and back
Yeah,
with relative ease.
yeah, the slalom.
Oh yeah, now we got it.
Because the manhole is such a good-sized fit, the car's balance is much better,
That actually corners fairly
Yeah,
well.
it does.
making its handling much less of a handful.
That's it. Come on, baby.
And when Adam messes up the parallel park,
Oh,
What was that you said about my parallel parking?
it's operator error
whoa. Sorry.
rather than a manhole mishap.
And we're done. Check out this wheel. Ha! It's perfect. I abused the crap out of that thing, and there's not a thing wrong with it. I am really impressed with the manhole cover. I expected the one place I'd have a problem were with traction and the fact that it's cast iron, that it might actually crack when I was skidding to the side like in the slalom. Traction was a problem, but this thing held up to the most abuse I could throw at it in the slalom and came back for more.
I like the manhole cover. It's got style, and it worked great. I'd say it's plausible.
Plausible it is, and you know what? It's given me some ideas.
All right.
Next on Flamin Reel, the world's fastest fish.
She drives like a maniac.